Last time on the North Bay Apprentice.
I'm a plant. I was put in to set up units.
He's not a real contestant and he can't officially be fired. Corey, ultimately, as you know, the responsibility falls on the project manager.
Yeah.
You understand that everything we've said here, that it comes down to you should be the one that is fired. I should be saying you're fired.
I should
To you. And I should say that. But I won't. I'm giving you a reprieve, but just be very careful.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. You may go. Welcome everyone to week 3 of your 10-week entrepreneurship training. Northern Gateway Inc., you're getting your first look at the new Future Vision Inc. Last week it was revealed in the boardroom that Jonathan Strang was a plant. He was chosen to be negative, lazy, and generally annoying. To see how all of you handle dealing with someone like that. The only problem was he was so darn charming and likable that even when he disappeared for almost an hour during the Pizza Hut task, his team covered for him. So this week we have Jillian Lang filling in for Linda Wilson. Jillian, could you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. I am Jillian Lang, born and raised here in North Bay. I have spent the past year working in Tampico, Mexico at a resort, where in the evenings I perform tap, jazz, hip-hop, music theater, and Latin-style dance. But in the day, I worked promotions and public relations. So not only did I work one-on-one with all of our guests, I was able to travel to different cities around Mexico, representing the resort and promoting the resort. I've also worked with the DIA, Downtown Improvement Area here in North Bay, as promotions assistant, where I helped plan and promote events such as Ribfest and the downtown activities during Heritage Festival.
Okay, let's get to the task. Now, over 100 years ago, American poet and author Ralph Waldo Emerson was quoted as saying, "If a man can write a better book, preach a better sermon, or make a better mousetrap than his neighbor, though he build his house in the woods, the world will make a beaten path to his door." Today, many small business owners still believe those words. They believe that if they can make a better product or provide a better service than their competitors, they will ultimately succeed. But the thing most entrepreneurs fail to realize is that although Emerson was a great philosopher, he was no businessman. For the world can't make beat a path to your door if they don't know where to find your door. Proper marketing is the lifeblood of every business, whether large or small, new or old. In fact, excellent marketing and promotion has helped many a mediocre product to succeed, while poor marketing has doomed many excellent products to failure. The foundation of every marketing strategy is a solid marketing plan. Today, each team will create a basic marketing plan for one of the members' business ideas. You will emphasize the 4 P's of marketing: product, price, promotion, and placement. I want to see particular detail in the promotion section. You will have 1 hour to complete it. Then your team will present it to Rob Taylor of Neo Communications. Rob, you want to say something about what you do here?
I've been working here for the last 9 years. I've slowly worked my way up through the company where I hold the position of financial controller now. I work hand in hand with our president on daily finances and monthly day-to-day activity of the business.
Good, good. Now, you won't be able to do any research, unfortunately, so you'll have to improvise, but I'll provide certain guidelines to help you, and you will be allowed a 5-minute interview with the originator of the idea. Oh, that's right, I forgot to mention. You're going to create a marketing plan for one of the opposing team's business ideas. And there's one more surprise. There's a reward on this one. The project manager of the winning team will have lunch with Kim, Jillian, and myself at Rialto Family Restaurant on Lakeshore Drive tomorrow at noon. You'll have the opportunity to spend time with us and pick our brains about marketing. Sean and Corey will be eligible to be project managers 2 weeks in a row to make it fair for everyone to win the reward. And as always, the losing team will meet me in the boardroom where somebody will be fired. So do a great job.
I think we're working on children so hard to bring a lot of children.
Okay, Future Vision Inc., can you tell me which team's business idea from the opposing team that you've chosen?
We'd like to do a marketing plan for Sean's theater company.
Sean, very impressive. Thank you. You've chosen your idea. That bodes well for you.
Yes.
Northern Gateway Inc., can you tell us what you have chosen?
We've decided to work with the wedding planning idea.
Wow, Rita, very good. So they've chosen your idea. That will certainly be taken into consideration in the boardroom should you lose. Okay, go to work.
Pick project manager.
Okay, well, who has any experience with working with you at this point? Or wedding planning?
I don't really have any experience with
We
wedding
need someone,
planning.
we're gonna need someone who can present very well, who's a very well-spoken person because there's a lot of detail that we gotta present, and that's a big part of this task, is presentation of how you can tell us, so.
Okay, we're gonna ask her first about that. Can be designated, it doesn't have to be the project manager,
No.
right?
We
can all work
do
this.
this, like, we can all do 2 parts of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Myself personally, I would like to take this as an opportunity to take it, but I mean, it's up to you guys.
Well, who
As a
has
team.
experience in this?
I have experience in market planning, in business design.
Business design, well, that's, so you actually went to school for that kind of thing, or? Well, that's a good thing, market design.
Marketing, yeah.
But you have experience as, with, what, no, you don't. You just want to do it because you want to do it. Well, that's interesting. Okay, well, I don't know. Do you want, like, my vote so far is with Dean because he has experience working with the marketing
I'm currently work for marketing as well.
company. Well,
But it doesn't matter, like, if you want to try it, just give it to you.
well, you know the structure of the thing, right?
Yeah, I know how it's-
So that, I think it would be in our best intention.
It's all good.
Okay, well,
Oh, well, I'm not gonna rush out, get a gun and start shooting you. It's all good, right? I mean, if you guys, I want this to be a team decision, so if we're happy with the way Dean thinks things are going, and Dean has the experience.
Well, we're all gonna be project managers at one point, right?
Let's work with our strengths.
So, yeah, that was just to say, we'll work with our strength this week, next week, maybe it's the strength of yours or strength of someone else's, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Everyone makes mistakes, things are going to happen, accidents are going to happen, things are going to go wrong in a business deal. It's not so much what happens to you in life, it's how you react to it. As long as you respond quickly, efficiently, and make sure the job gets done, then that's ultimately what matters in life, is not what happens, but how you react to it, how you respond.
Yeah. So how to create awareness and use these customers. And female 4P.
I think Rita's doing a really good job. She's very organized, and I think we're going to do good. We're all filling in a lot of information and trying to weed out what we need, what we don't need, and get it as best as we can.
Hi, Sean.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure.
We just have a few questions in regards to your business. So, number one basically is, do you have a name for your business already?
Well, I've toyed around with a few names, actually. I don't want to choose a name that's... Quick! I'm not going to get it. Yes, you only got 5 minutes, and you got 5 minutes. Oh, I answered. Okay.
Basically, what makes you different from any other competition here in North Bay?
Well, at this point in North Bay, there's not actually a company that will be, structured like this. I mean, there's no professional theater company in town. I think I threw maybe a slight wrench in their plan, telling them that there was a professional element to the theater company, when indeed it's all going to be semi-volunteer. This community is prosperous. Just people want it. They love theater. They love to act. But basically, having them know that there's going to be a professional element to the whole thing might make it a little bit difficult.
Have you done any research or anything like that into what your overhead's going to be?
Well, if you have me or not? Yeah, I have looked at it. It looks pretty good so far. It's a little bit of deceit. I give them a lot of honesty, but and I didn't push the professional thing, but I did drop it. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
I'm gonna take down all the notes, and so far we've got
We've got five
questions. We should try and find one more question.
Swampers asked one of our specific questions, and then...
No, and after she answers, then sort of put off one sub-question.
I was thinking like maybe, if you're concentrating on the answer that if you get like say whoever's asking, if you're concentrating on the answer, and then maybe I can just sit back and maybe think of other things, absorb, and see if I can process any other kind of like brainstorms, and then give me 1 second and I'll ask a quick question if I have it or not.
We're going to pass this around. You're going to ask the question?
Yeah, well,
Then he'll ask the question.
Demonstration.
And then if she answers, if you can think of one more, then quickly ask it.
here she
If you
is.
guys have something, but we should
Come in.
Good day, Rita.
Please.
Why don't you sit there? Perhaps we won't be as short as you guys. No. Practically like lost.
Okay, well, we're down to business, so we have 5 minutes.
What kind of experience to date have you had with this particular field or idea?
Basically, I have customer care service. I did basically take care of medieval weddings while I was working in medieval times. Basically, when I went in there and when they asked me all the questions, and I thought about what strategy should I use? Should I go with being honest, or should I go with, adding some more spices into it? I haven't really worked with a wedding planner professionally, but I have been part of the whole organizations behind planning events and being part of it. Basically, what I am is I'm pretty open. You ask me something, I'll tell you. There's no point on adding anything else to it. So I went in there, my strategy was, they asked me a question, I'm going to answer them as quickly as possible, and I'm going to answer them as honest as I can be.
Have you done any apprenticeships with any planning companies?
I have not.
No?
I have not, but I have taken, like I said, I worked in medieval times, so they used to do weddings and they used to do the planning, so I have been taking part of that.
What kind of business are you going to try? Like a staff-based business or a single-person business?
I want to start with a single-based business, but I already know that I can go with a staff business if I want to go into the catering also.
What kind of business are you going to try and produce here? Is there going to be... okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, let me rephrase that. Let's just fire some questions off now. Second, still have her? Okay.
Do you see yourself going national once maybe things kind of lift off for you?
It's open. The idea is definitely open. You have to take baby steps.
if you, for example, if you have an idea of starting a business in 5 years, you don't waste your money, or you don't do weird things, you know, and then the year before, like, okay, well, I have to save money because I'm opening my business that year. You can't do that. You plan it as soon as you get an idea.
What's your biggest obstacle?
The fact that I'm a girl is the biggest obstacle. I'm Portuguese, so I was always told the men are going out there, the women is
you gotta beat
only
the odds.
clean and pregnant. Yeah, so that's the biggest obstacle to me, and that's what I want to break down.
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Northern Gateway Inc. We have created a business plan for Rita Bross's event planning. Chris, Sean.
I think our team is doing a pretty good job. We're bringing a lot of ideas together right now, and now we're just focusing on the full product right now, and hopefully our presentation goes well and they'll really like it.
I think we're doing pretty good. We're coming up with a lot of good ideas. We're getting ourselves organized. I think it's going a little better in organization than it was at the Pizza Hut task. So I was pretty optimistic last time, but I think we're doing better this time for sure.
The product that we actually like to introduce is a plate. The name of the plate, as of right now, is Nexus. It might actually change. The location where this play will be taking place is actually kind of both ways. It's in Capitol Center, and it's also at the waterfront in the summertime. The office location will probably be home-based, or it might also be at the North Bay Mall, which is easier to reverse.
Our primary market that we're probably going to be targeting is probably ages 20 to 30, people that are just getting out into the business world and want to go out and still have a little bit of fun, get a little bit of entertainment. But we're not going to really set out anybody. We're also going to be marketing to the older people that have a family and stuff like that, 30 to 50-ish. We're also going to get the high schools and the teenagers and stuff like that involved because they're a good resource and you can usually get them fairly inexpensive. We're probably going to market to the 20 to 30 range by posters, and we'll probably spread those out anyways. It's fairly inexpensive and a good way to market because it doesn't cost a lot of money and it can attract a lot of attention. Most places will let you put up posters there. All you have to do is really get approval by them. So we can put them at hotels, put them up at the Capitol Center itself, put them along the waterfront, grocery stores, all sorts of commercial establishments that are willing to put them up there. We also like to put them up in the malls, and we'd also like to hit the radio with an advertisement for it because there's lots of people that listen to the radio and we'd be silly not to include that. For the 30 to 50 range, we're probably going to go with newspaper advertisements in there as well because lots of people sit down and like to read the newspaper before work or after work or something like that, so we'd like to get that in there as well.
We decided on some prices that are still affordable, but hopefully will give us a decent profit margin. For adults, 18 and over, we're looking at maybe $20 a ticket. Teenagers, 13 to 17, and senior citizens, we're looking at 17. Smaller children, 12, and 8 and under would be free.
Thank you.
We're keeping in mind that it's a wedding planning and events planning business. Based on research, understanding the competition in town, and considering the business is an independent business, startup costs will be fair. Depending on the client and the event and its scope.
Her business idea is to start off small, working at way at home. Rita's plan will be to promote herself by ways of word of mouth, posters on the wall, newspaper ads, and walking into businesses. By taking some small baby steps, she wants to gain experience and make it into a bigger business.
Promotion of Rita's business will first off be solely through the word of mouth. And as her company grows, she can use multiple means, including internet, TV, paper, and auto media. Basically getting her name out there, winning over clientele by using her personality, her charm, and of course a take-charge attitude and willingness to compromise over race, vendors, and locations. Using other ways through subcontracting and deals made to promote her business as well as the cooperating parties. That will benefit her the most.
The location is based upon the customer's suggestions, needs, wants, or beliefs. Rita's business will need to bring all sub-vendors together to share their views on how they want to present their products together as a group. Also, the means of promoting the business would go well along with an internet site, along with radio broadcasting. She could also use means of newspaper ads, and I believe that that's pretty much the end of it.
So we also have the issue of pricing. Since she's a new business and starting out fresh, that when she works with the client at the beginning, when dealing with like elements that are required for the event, she can offer them a free estimate.
Thank you very much, guys. I'll have to take a couple minutes to go over your presentations and see what I come up with.
Well, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good. So, how did the teams do?
For an hour, they did really well. They did well. I'll start with the Northern Gateway Inc. with the K. Your presentation was well. It had really good flow to it. I enjoyed that. I found, though, that the topic you were talking about was a little bit vague. It was hard to tell. You know, it kind of jumped back and forth between, oh, she's going to do this, or no, she's going to have consultants. I wasn't sure how it was going to work after that. And the one thing I thought was the word of mouth at the beginning, I don't think would have been a good idea. Well, because how do you get your first client after, maybe after 5, 6, 7 clients, word of mouth would be better, but you need something to start up with right away. Future Vision Inc., your presentation was well also. I found, though, that you jumped between your target markets. Like, you first told me it was 18 to 30, and then it jumped up to 55, and then into the high schools. So I was kind of confused. Okay, are you 18 to 30, or are you the whole span? So that's the only thing that I found out. But I did like that every market that you did have, you had prices, you had exactly how you're going to advertise to those customers, and so I enjoyed that part of your presentation.
Okay, so do we have a clear winner?
We do have a clear winner. After going over all my notes, I decided that Future Vision Inc. is the winner of this presentation.
All right, Future Vision Inc. Very good. And Rita, because you're the project manager, you'll be joining us for lunch tomorrow at Rialto. And now you have a decision to make. You can opt to bring one of your teammates along with you, or you can choose to have us all to yourselves. What would you like to do?
I would like to go by myself.
Okay. Northern Gateway Inc., you will meet me in the boardroom tomorrow, where somebody will be fired. This is a really good opportunity for Rita to get to know us more on a social level, for one thing, and to get to ask us some questions about her business, so that it's going to be really beneficial to her in the end. And I hope she's doing a great job. I really think this is going to help her to go further in the competition.
Because I am a young person, and I am not only young in age, but young in business. What would be like one of the first steps that I should take in order to get the response from the community?
Any business, when you're penetrating a new market with a new product, an existing service, anything, you do market research, you want to understand who your customers are going to be, what age would be purchasing your product, your service.
I find Rita to be a very ambitious young lady. She's very focused and very serious on what she wants to do. She had a lot of very interesting and important questions to ask, and I hope that we gave her enough information to send her on her way.
Because I am starting, I don't think a lot of people don't write to me.
I was really impressed. She came prepared with all sorts of questions regarding her business, and I think she profited a lot from this lunch. In watching the other team's presentation yesterday, did you found that you heard something that you liked that you could use in your business?
I like the fact that the way that they said, well, she has to do this and she has to do that, like in advertising, and what steps need to be taken. It was nice to hear somebody else say something that I kind of already thought.
So what did you think in yesterday's task when Dean's team chose your wedding planner thing? Do you think he chose that because he had kind of some inside information?
It crossed my mind that he probably had a big part of it, not only to put me on the spot, but to see how well I would handle it.
Right.
And I mean, I didn't mind it at all. I was very surprised that they picked me. I actually thought that they probably would have picked Corey because it's a different idea.
Basically, even though Dean and I are engaged, and it's interesting because the other contestants, they don't know about that fact. It was very interesting competing against each other, especially during the fact that he has an inside depth, I guess, in regards to what I want to do and my goals. I'm surprised he didn't use more of that in the presentation. I know what his goals are, he knows what my goals are. So I was surprised that he didn't put that in more in the presentation. And when it comes to business and anything like that, I'm very competitive as well. So it's nice to compete against each other. Not going into it with he's my fiance or I'm his fiance, but going in as we're two people with two different goals who want to obviously win at the end and who's going to try anything to win it.
So, Dean, you were the project manager. What happened?
There were some points that were put out that weren't recognized during our first little viewing amongst ourselves.
So you're saying during the presentation, Rob didn't...
There were some points that he picked out that we didn't notice during the
Oh, how did you choose your project manager?
He looked within the group and tried to see who had the best skills with regards to making a marketing design. And Dean had said that he actually did some schooling or had some education in the field, so we thought that was interesting.
So I was really hoping to see everybody fight for it a little bit more to win the reward. It's a great reward.
There was a fight for it. Chris actually volunteered first to take the opportunity to lead the team in this, and then Dean afterwards had said, you know, I've got a marketing background.
You mentioned your marketing background. Can you just tell us a little bit about what that is? You have a degree in marketing, or?
No, I don't have a degree. I have a diploma in marketing through Canada. I also had my own business when I was younger.
Okay. What was that?
I was landscaping.
Who came up with the Northern Gateway Inc., the Inc. with the K?
When we were talking about we wanted to go incorporated, and it's like, well, how can we be incorporated? Like, let's see how that really works out in this kind of situation. So I thought it would be maybe spice it up.
Okay, so that was your idea?
Yeah.
Okay. I was hating it. Why did you pick Rita's wedding planner idea? You were the one that kind of pushed for that idea?
Correct. I chose her idea because I found that she is correct. We do have event planners here in North Bay, but I find that they're not as outgoing or have the capabilities of the southern groups that do this kind of work.
Sean, isn't it true that you gave them some false information in your interview?
I did give them, I slipped them a bit of a Mickey at one point, but it wasn't intended to really mess them up, but like I figured it would throw a bit of a nut in their plan.
Okay, now does anyone blame Sean for the loss? Does anyone think that maybe the information that he gave and false information that he gave, did that in some way help them to win?
I don't think technically that it has anything to do with what information was given. I think it was based down to what the demographics they used when they did their business plan. Specifically when Rob said to them about what they used, especially said his likes with their business plan, I think that is something that we didn't incorporate into offers. So I don't think Sean's to blame specifically for that.
Okay, that's fine. Anybody else? David, do you think?
I thought what Sean did was correct. He didn't want to throw them off, but he also we want the edge. Personally, I thought the presentation part was our downfall. Actually, to begin with, we actually had our order incorrectly, but Dean actually stepped in, and so it kind of went off. And I felt those little things kind of added up because I also noticed that Chris spoke a little too quickly, so I don't know if he caught all that.
Dean, on the other hand, I'm a little disturbed. Why would you give up the role of manager so easily?
Just to give a choice to the rest of the team. I'm very easygoing.
I don't think it's easygoing. I think it's fear.
Yesterday in the office or in the room when you were brainstorming, you had already chosen the wedding planning idea. You kind of derailed from that and took a few moments to discuss why you did not choose Corey or Laura's items. I just want to know why you chose to do that, and don't you feel that that time, even if it was 3-4 minutes, that time would have been better spent in planning your marketing strategy?
Rita's business, in my eyes that I saw, was that her business could go far beyond, where, for example, Corey's business is more like a hobby business. Unless he's willing to get a whole production row of guys and a large shop and go really large with it and create more than just tables, there wasn't much there to progress on.
Their plan was more complete and they had more detail in certain areas. What was the big idea as far as marketing goes? From what I hear, you talked about word of mouth and you talked about maybe a little bit of radio. I didn't hear. How much would you spend on radio? Which stations would you advertise on the radio to reach your target market? How are you going to promote word of mouth? What other ideas do you have besides those?
I speculated on certain aspects of promoting, including like TV, radio, internet.
So you're the one that you were given the promotion side, which I said was going to be the most important part. Why would you give that part to Chris, who appeared to be off his game, maybe not from his perspective, but from some others? Why would you're the project manager, you've got the experience, and there's one more thing that you all don't know, by the way, about Dean. Isn't it also partly true the reason that you chose to choose Rita's business is because Rita and Dean are engaged to each other?
And he had an inside track on, he lives with Bo.
So he knows
everything about her business. Wow. So, why would you choose to give that up to Chris?
When you've got the marketing experience, you've got the background with Rita, and potentially give it up to someone who may not be fully on his game that day, dressed in a Homer t-shirt.
Because actually the promotion part is usually the fun part, the outgoing part, the really energetic part, and Chris has a lot of that going for him.
So maybe he could have presented it, but maybe he shouldn't have been the best person to create the marketing ideas, seeing as you have the background and all the knowledge.
Dean, you did seem very knowledgeable on the topic, but with all that and everything Dean was bringing up, as in there is a great need in the North for wedding planners, he knew the fact that wedding planners could even do up to 2 to 3 weddings a day. He had all this clear knowledge. Is that I heard nothing different in your presentation an hour later? than from what I heard being discussed in the room then. So what did you do with the other 45 minutes? Like, I didn't hear anything new, so I don't know where the brainstorming was for, I mean, really hitting your target market. I mean, what about bridal shops, flower shops, catering companies? Find them.
Sean, so if you were me, if you were in my position, so who would you fire?
In my position, in your position, I would fire Chris.
David, who would you fire?
I believe that either Chris or Sean, and the reason is, I'm picking Sean because when he did basically his part of it, which was pricing, he basically stumbled and tried to elaborate too much.
Well, my main focus wasn't the presentation. I know that played a role in it. I also mentioned, Sean, that because you got a win from a project last time, and because they picked your thing, I'd be giving you special consideration, so I don't think you have too much to worry about, Sean. Chris, who would you fire?
When it came down to presentation, I'm in agreement with Dave on this one. Sean basically had a lot of problems getting out there what he was trying to say.
In my view, you did not fail the task on the presentation, though. You failed the task on the content of your business, your marketing plan. Dean, who would you fire?
Personally, I would fire Sean. Not to take it to offense or anything, but a lot of times when we get into the middle of a task, Sean is very outgoing, and he has a tendency sometimes to look beyond the borders of the task at hand and tries to pull in things that are irrelevant.
Is he hard to manage? Is that his problem or your
It's
problem?
hard to work together in a group when you have somebody that's always playing outside the box and not contributing. Well, he contributes. Actually, I do have to say, this last task we had, I was more than happy with the way he contributed to this task that we did this week. The Pizza Hut one, the task prior to was...
But Sean won he was the project manager on the last task, and you won, so I don't think you have any complaints against Sean. Who do you want to bring back to the boardroom? Pick two people.
I will pick Sean and Chris.
Sean and Chris. Okay. So David, you are excused. And the others, will wait outside, please. Jillian, what do you think?
Well, really, first impressions, I would say Chris would be the one to go, but there is a lot in this task that Dean did not live up to, especially having the background with Rita. So I'll have to go with Dean.
I personally believe that, again, with my first instinct, I think Chris should go. I think he demonstrated a lot of clumsiness and, on being unorganized and whatnot, especially with his personal presentation. As a team manager, I believe also that you do have to step up to the plate and take the swing, and Dean wasn't going to, and he was willing to give that up, so.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. Let's bring them back in.
Okay.
Chris, I'm not crazy about the way you were dressed yesterday. I do understand and respect that it is presenting your true self, authentic self, and I like that. I like how you're dressed better today. Remember that you are conveying your image to the world. Another thing I'm concerned about is I would like to see next week for you to step up and be the project manager on the next task. Sean, I understand you do have some problems sometimes with communicating and getting the word out. Sometimes you tend to ramble a little bit. I think that's manageable. And again, as I said, I will be giving you special consideration today. So it's basically between Dean and Chris. Dean, I feel that, number one, because you have the marketing background and the education, and the inside track with Rita, having it be that you live with her and you knew all about her business, a lot more of that content of your knowledge should have been in your presentation, should have been in your plan. So I don't like that aspect of it. And I don't like that you gave up so much control to Chris to do the marketing when he was kind of off of his game yesterday. And other people picked up on that, I don't know if you did. And I don't like the fact that you brought Sean back into the boardroom when I basically just said that I probably would not be firing Sean. So I think that was a huge mistake. All I can say is I think that you're going to do really great things. I think, I believe in the business that you're doing, but I think you made a few huge mistakes here today, and I'm really sorry, but I've got to say, Dean, you're fucked. So everybody can go.
That's okay.
I kind of had an idea that Rita would be the product manager, and that's one of the main reasons I pushed for Chris to take product manager for our team, because I didn't want to be in the same ridings. Rita and I were an item, and I wish her the best of luck, and I hope she succeeds.